Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is UsernameHere, joined by my good friend and co-commentator Devion. Welcome to this new episode of the Grand Marshal Grand Tournament. To all BeamNG players, police chasing fans, and law enforcement enthusiasts alike, we are going to have a very amazing day for police chasing here, ladies and gentlemen. In our first position, yes, in the first position, as I said, redundancy, we have Mississippi State Police, currently with 9 points, who has managed to grab himself a point and catch up to Police Interceptor. He is in second place, and he really wants to reclaim that lead that he was able to hold for just about an episode or so. And, yeah, he's going to need to bring everything he has to the table if he's going to seize that title of champion.
So yeah, he's sitting right now in second place, but if he wins like all 3 rounds like Intercepted, he'll be at a 2-point advantage instead of a 1-point deficit right now.
That is true, yes. Mississippi needs only 1 round to tie it up and bring back that tie from a few episodes ago, and if he manages to get 2 out of the 3, or even all of the 3 rounds in this episode, then he will be putting himself in quite an advantage in terms of the lead. In our second place position, the current leader of this tournament at the moment with 10 points. He has double digits. We have Police Interceptor with an absolutely incredible performance in some of those early episodes, but also absolutely seizing episode 13 completely for himself. I think that was 13, right? No, 13 was the last one. No, that was 12 that he got for himself. My bad. Absolutely seizing episode 12 for himself. What do you think about the strength and ferocity of this competitor, my friend Devion?
Yeah, he was kind of like lacking behind in points, but now he's the first card and the only card that's double digits in points. But Mississippi might change that within this episode.
That is true. Police Interceptor is in the lead, and he does have a lot of points, but Mississippi is catching up, evidenced by the points he acquired last episode. And if Mississippi is able to catch up, then it will just continue the battle between these two absolute juggernauts, ladies and gentlemen. And in our third place position, replacing Fairhaven City, never forget, hailing from the 2015 game Need for Speed No Limits, we have the Black Ridge Police Department. By the way, that is without a space, as I learned today. Yes, we have the Black Ridge Police Department, which actually doesn't say Black Ridge on it, but it is still a very nice design. I enjoy the white primary, black secondary, and red tertiary color scheme, as well as the couple of triangles meant to represent an actual Black Ridge. So yes, he will be joining this tournament in the third place position, and we'll see if he manages to perform any better than Fairhaven City did. Then again, Fairhaven City does have some of the best wins under his belt, but I mean, still, we'll see if he'll be able to make a name for himself in this game, especially because he is starting in the optimal position just behind our juggernaut, or potentially he could get eliminated a couple of episodes from now. Either way, there's only one way to find out. So welcome to the tournament, to the BRPD police car. In our fourth place position, ladies and gentlemen, someone who hasn't really accomplished much of note just yet, but he has still also just got here. We have the USA Army police car, which I believe is actually, no, never mind. I've got this idea in my head that they're a vanilla police car, but I guess they're actually not. They are from a mod. I don't know. Either way, they're here, and we're going to see if they'll be able to get something done this episode.
Yes, they have the bull bar advantage, but so far they have yet to use it for anything useful.
They do indeed have the bull bar advantage, yes, but it has not really managed to help them, nor has it managed to help any other competitor that has had a bull bar in the past, as evidenced by their poor performance in the last episode as well.
They also have a plastic stripe that is not even beneficial at all, but I would like to point that out.
It looks neat though. Breaks up the color scheme a little bit, adds a third color to it, matches the tires, that sort of, and the windshield, that sort of thing. It's overall a nice color scheme. In our fifth place position, the champion of the 15-round tournament, who hasn't really had the greatest luck very recently, we have the New York City Transit Police Car, a retired design hailing from the 90s. And, yeah, he unfortunately did manage to lose that third place position to Detroit recently, but hopefully he will be able to reclaim some of those positions and grab himself some points here in this tournament. In our sixth place position, we have a rather interesting brand new competitor. Well, not brand new. We have a rather interesting newcomer, that's what I meant to say, to the tournament. The one who absolutely smashed the last invitational with 2 points, and who also has 2 points here in this game. The New York City JTF police car, hailing from Tom Clancy's The Division, I believe, right? Yeah, the Division. We'll see if he'll manage to make a true name for himself. Maybe he'll be able to grab some other points and potentially get closer to some competitors such as Transit Police in front of him and Detroit behind him. In our 7th place position, coincidentally with 7 points as well, we have the Master of Style, Detroit, ladies and gentlemen, hailing from the city of Detroit, Michigan. Still with that livery that was actually a gift to the city of Detroit by, I believe, a couple of car manufacturers. You learned something new today. Detroit police cars don't normally look like this. They were donations. But in any event, yes, he has a lot of points. And I have to say, that 3rd place position where they're just always like, every time you look, Detroit is just in 3rd all the time. That strategy, as a result of Mississippi and Police Interceptor with all of their fierce battling, has really managed to work out for Detroit. What do you think, my friend Davion?
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where it's predictable at this point. He's just gonna end up in 3rd place somehow. He'll either get a point or at least get close to getting a point. But that's just what it has become.
That is true. He is the master of the head-on, ladies and gentlemen. He has 7 points, and actually, as a matter of fact, he is in 3rd place. And all he needs is 2 points to tie it up with Mississippi, and 3 points to tie it up with our leader, Police Interceptor. Imagine if Detroit actually manages to pull out a page from Police Interceptor's book and cause a repeat of episode 12. That would be an incredible spectacle for police chasing, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, he is always in 3rd. He might score 3 points. You know, in coincidence? I think not. So let's see what happens in this episode.
Detroit Police is always in 3rd place. He gets points from being in 3rd place a lot. He's in 3rd place in the point standings now, and he needs 3 points in order to tie it up with Police Interceptor. Coincidence? I think not. Get your tinfoil hats, ladies and gentlemen. And there's actually a 3 on his car as well. And Police Interceptor has 2 digits in his 10, and Mississippi has 9 points. Oh my god, see, 02 is, wow, oh my god, freaking X-Files theme starts playing.
Yes, and we will now move on to the final car in the lineup.
And in our final position, we have the DEP police car, who has 1 point to his name. Performed rather respectively in the past couple of episodes, but hasn't really managed to bring any new points out of it. Last time, the episode he got that point in was actually episode 11, so yeah, a little bit unfortunate for him that he has kind of managed to just fly under the radar a little bit ever since.
Yes, but at the same time, Transit Police has not gotten a point since episode 9, I believe. So they're both kind of like, they both kind of need to get points sooner or later, or else they'll be just sitting around like Velasco City and not getting points throughout all the episodes.
I would say they're both on thin ice a little bit. Yes, I can agree with that. But in any event, that is it for our lineup, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for round number 40 to begin. Start your sirens. Start your engines. Activate your sirens. Turn on your lights and fasten your seatbelts because the round is about to begin. And round number 40 has kicked off, ladies and gentlemen. Mississippi with 9 points and something improved moving ahead. Police Interceptor looking to keep his lead. Black Ridge Police Department looking to move into a space all its own. U.S. Army Police looking to justify his existence here. Transit Police looking to make something happen. DTF moving ahead. Detroit in the 7th, trying for that 3rd place position. And DEP Police in the last place position. Rounding out our initial lineup for round number 30. Let's see what will happen. Our competitors are now beginning to reach the cinematic corner, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see if any position changes could potentially occur.
Looks like, oh, how did he get flipped over?
Flipped over? What the frick? That's like one of the quickest wrecks we've ever seen. Not even Fairhaven City did that. Once again, reinforcing my point that Fairhaven City will be missed because they're a good competitor.
I believe he went up the cliff here, maybe like flipped himself over.
Potentially, yeah, definitely went up the cliff, so I guess they really went up the Black Ridge, jokes.
But that leaves USA Army Police in 3rd, which is...
USA Army Police is in 3rd of all people, and it also has blocked Detroit from moving ahead for that 3rd. There's a lot of distance between USA Army Police and Transit, with all the other competitors trying to move ahead and grab some of those, grab some of the distance that they lost. Mississippi, looks like Police Interceptor has a bit of a problem there. Looks like U.S. Army Police...
Oh, he hits Interceptor!
Police Interceptor, USA Army Police hitting Police Interceptor, going to potentially be opening Mississippi up to tie up this game as Transit Police moves ahead as well, with Black Ridge trying to grab some of what he missed, and Transit Police will now be seizing 3rd place from U.S. Army Police. JTF trying to move ahead from Black Ridge as well. What an amazing set of position changes as JTF moves ahead of Black Ridge.
I did not expect that many position changes that early in the round.
I believe Police Interceptor, I believe, is no longer in 2nd. Who's behind Mississippi? Is it Transit Police?
I think it's just a very large gap.
Oh, just a very okay. So Mississippi, Police Interceptor is technically in second, but Mississippi. Here comes the pit, waiting for the trees, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like that could be the end of the runner yet. Without Police Interceptor being the fleet car to slow down the runner, Mississippi just smashes the runner. Here comes Police Interceptor with the second smash into the runner for good measure. And yes, that's a quick round. Transit Police misses entirely, but you know, good effort. USA Army Police bullying Police Interceptor. Oh man. What a drift from JTF. JTF grabbing some style points. Until the round is over, DEP and Transit Police decide they want to make sandwiches today because they're hungry for some lunch. What an insane round, ladies and gentlemen. That is absolutely nuts. U.S. Army Police bullying Police Interceptor. Transit and DEP making a sandwich. Detroit just showing up. JTF with a drift and Mississippi with the point awarded to them. So immediately, right off the bat, we are tied up once again. Both cars have 10 points, and that means the balance of power has once again shifted in this game.
You know, I'm surprised that 2 cars flipped in this round. Like, that normally doesn't happen that early. But, you know, 2 cars, 1 round. That's interesting.
I fully agree. 2 cars flipped in 1 round rather quickly is definitely not a very common thing that you see here in these games.
So yeah, Mississippi gets the point, even though he's quite far away from the runner.
That is true, yeah.
I think we got the runner is now like a pancake. He's been absolutely flattened by everyone.
Yeah, Transit Police and DEP were hungry for breakfast because they actually missed it going into this episode, so they decided to make a sandwich out of the runner, yeah.
So yeah, let's look on to the other cars now.
USA Army Police bullying Police Interceptor this round. Did you notice that? Not only did they pit Police Interceptor at the cliff turn, they also smashed into Police Interceptor after the round was over. So it's almost like USA Army Police somehow has some kind of a vendetta.
I think he's just trying to use this Boulevard for good use, because that's the most he's used it so far in this tournament.
Potentially, yes, indeed. Could be trying to use that bull bar, one of his strengths, against Police Interceptor, the leader. But he is not technically the leader anymore because, yeah, once again, we do actually have a tie once more. Blackridge Police Department flipped over instantly and then were never seen again until they arrived at the end. I don't know what they were doing. Pretty rough first round for them. Police Interceptor just got really bullied, and as a result of being so far back, it allowed Mississippi to move in and grab the point. They're even missing a tire as well as a lot more of their back, actually. Yeah, so Police Interceptor, despite being the leader when we started, that is, he is no longer the leader now because he is once again tied up with Mississippi. Detroit Police, I don't know. You know, wasn't really sure what they were doing today. Just, you know, normal round for them. JTF didn't really do much this round either, but they had a pretty sick drift and very narrowly avoided hitting someone. I don't even remember who it was, but yeah. And finally, DEP and Transit Police, who even though they did not win the point, they made an absolute sandwich out of the runner with 2 perfect head-ons that were virtually lined up perfectly. And I gotta say, they won a lot of style points for that. Detroit's potential style point lead could actually be challenged by what DEP and Detroit and Transit, did.
Yeah, I feel like since the round was so short, they didn't really get a chance to do anything.
That is true. I agree.
Yeah, that's why like most of the cars were like kind of like sitting around for most of the round because they didn't get the chance to really catch the runner. It was just Mississippi absolutely destroying him, and that's about it.
That is true. Incredibly short round, yes, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and by the way, this is why Police Interceptor is the fleet car, because if it's too far back, then Mississippi will just get the runner all the time. So yes, it looks like that will be the end of round number 40. Congratulations to Mississippi, who will now be tied up with Police Interceptor right off the bat. And it looks like it is time for round number 41. And we are jumping right back into round number 41. DEP Police looking to do whatever. Mississippi and Police Interceptor, who are now all tied up, moving ahead to try and grab their 11th point and seize the lead. Blackridge still something to prove. U.S. Army Police with a vendetta. Transit Police, who need some points here in this game. JTF, who could use more points as well. Detroit with his style points lead challenge, as well as DEP recovering from that and moving ahead for the 8th place position. So how do you feel about the way that last round went, my friend Devia?
I felt like it went pretty quick because Army Police pitted the fleet car, which caused Mississippi to get like really close to him.
It went very quick. Looks like Black Ridge with a pretty nice drift. U.S. Army Police going around the outside, a little wide for him, but he's okay. Transit Police moving ahead on the inside as well. JTF braking and losing a position to Detroit, bumping him a little bit. And DEP Police flies around JTF. Wait a minute! Flies off the cinematic corner as well, actually. So DEP Police, a bit unfortunate for him, will be put back on the track as well.
So yeah, DEP. I think that's the first car that's actually like flew off the cliff turn by himself because he couldn't make the turn.
I agree. It's been almost 15 episodes, and that was one of the first times we've seen a perfectly pristine car fly off the cinematic corner there.
Well, DEP has not scored a point in a while, so he has to do something.
That is true. DEP has not scored a point in a while. Looks like Black Ridge is still in third. Transit Police in fourth as well with a pretty nice, okay drift. I'll take it. U.S. Army Police going up the mountain like these cars do sometimes. Unfortunate for them. Will be thrown back on the track. There you go. Someone will overtake him. I think that's probably potentially Detroit. Yep, Detroit, JTF, U.S. Army Police, and DEP Police in the last rounding up the latter half-hour lineup.
So yeah, the cars are heading onto a long straight now. Let's see. The Interceptor's still pretty close by, so I doubt the Mississippi will get him again like that.
Indeed, it looks like we are on track to have ourselves a rather standard round, ladies and gentlemen. Black Ridge Police holding that third place position with Police Interceptor and Mississippi in front of them as usual. And what happened to Transit? Is Transit still up, or did the first turn get? No, Transit is still up, ladies and gentlemen. But Detroit is breathing down their neck as Transit does have a lot of ground to make up in order to reach the top three.
So cars should be... Oh, you know, Black Ridge Police is actually still quite close.
Black Ridge Police is actually indeed still quite close as the runner moves through the town to reach the beach turn for the first time this episode. Mississippi Police Interceptor a bit close. Will Police Interceptor screw it up? They do not. Black Ridge goes off it a little bit, drifts and manages to recover from it. So nice work, Black Ridge. They will be losing some distance, but that's okay for them. Transit Police screwing up on the beach turn, unfortunately. And look who it is. Detroit now in fourth, looking to grab that third place. JTF has a bit of a problem as well. Looks like Transit Police missing a tire. In addition, U.S. Army Police and DEP Police once again also screwing up that beach turn. So that beach turn is definitely pretty murderous for some of these cars. But Black Ridge and Detroit are still up in the third and fourth positions, respectively. Looks like JTF and U.S. Army Police will be moving back on the track. DEP doing the same thing. And Transit Police is having himself a bit of a problem as well as he has no tire.
Oh, looks like Interceptor spun out.
There's something happening on the cinematic corner. Black Ridge and Police Interceptor are actually battling for a position, but Police Interceptor will come out on top, and it looks like Mississippi, JTF bumping the cliff there a little bit. It looks like Mississippi will now have free reign over the runner for a brief moment. Is that Detroit, though, moving ahead as well in fourth with JTF in fifth, followed by some of our other competitors?
So yeah, you think Black Ridge might get a point? Because he's been pretty consistent so far. He's keeping up with the rest of the pack.
Black Ridge has indeed been pretty consistent and has been holding himself that position, but Mississippi will be getting some contact right here over at this straight. It could spin the runner out. It could break the runner. The runner is having himself a bit of a problem. Mississippi goes into the trees, but it looks like that will not be a point for Mississippi, who is struggling to recover, and Police Interceptor will overtake Mississippi just barely. It looks like the balance of power shifted because Police Interceptor really wants to grab that lead for themselves as Black Ridge moves ahead to essentially be the third player who enters the game. Detroit struggling to grab his third place position, but spins out, unfortunately, on this particular cliff turn.
It looks like he'll recover. JTF is going really quick into this corner. Maybe a little bit too
JTF going
quick.
pretty quick, but manages to recover potentially from it. Hits the cliff a little bit, but that's okay for him. Detroit losing a lot of ground. U.S. Army Police moving ahead as well. Looks like Police Interceptor, Mississippi, and Black Ridge will be continuing their battle with Police Interceptor in the first place. U.S. Army Police and JTF battling, but U.S. Army Police will grab a position from JTF.
So yeah, Interceptor being the fleet car, runner's gonna be flying down here on the long straight, and yeah, let's see if anything happens.
Interceptor being the fleet car, that means the runner will be flying down the long straight. Could potentially even crash on his own if he is not careful. But yeah, with Police Interceptor now in first, despite being the fleet car, it looks like he will have some ground to make up and a lot of effort to put in order to seize the runner.
Yeah, let's see. Black Ridge Police is still doing pretty good for his first episode, staying up ahead and not losing any positions.
Black Ridge Police indeed doing pretty good, but the runner is spinning out on cue, ladies and gentlemen. Police Interceptor completely misses. Mississippi completely misses. Black Ridge screams into the beach turn super fast, and the runner is essentially just like completely unstopped with Mississippi trying to prevent him from moving. Police Interceptor bumps into Mississippi, and the runner doesn't realize that he should be turning around right now. Looks like the runner will be helped a little bit because that's not how you end an episode. And the runner will be moving ahead once again with police interceptor in Mississippi practically tripping over themselves. Looks like a fourth car actually went off the beach turn as well. There's a fourth car here. Yes, who is it? It is Detroit, actually, as a matter of fact. Detroit tried to move in for their third place strategy, but it didn't work. And here comes U.S. Army Police barely getting the beach turn, battling to overtake Mississippi. It looks like the police interceptor is gone. Maybe I didn't actually see where police interceptor went either.
Police interceptor near him.
Police interceptor moving ahead, still actually in first, closest to the runner, and still looking to make something happen.
Yeah, but the runner's still cruising around with no one else nearby in case the runner gets spun out.
There's actually no one else nearby.
USA Army Police might get something.
And USA Army Police actually takes the second place position. Mississippi now in third and a practically very damaged car. So yeah, police interceptor could be poised to potentially reclaim his lead after only one round of being tied up with Mississippi.
So who's that back there still trying to make up his... Oh, it's Mississippi getting stuck in the corner.
Looks like his steering is a bit busted. He's really struggling. At this point, he'd be better off going the opposite way on the track and waiting for his time to strike because his car is pretty weak.
Tons of cars got wiped out at the beach turn, and DEP is stuck here.
That is DEP is in the forest. Where else? Oh, here's the runner going at the bottom of the the bottom of the incline.
Yeah, beach turn's been pretty brutal this episode.
Indeed been pretty brutal, as it usually is. Police interceptor with a pretty nice drift around the cliff turn as well, and here comes U.S. Army Police with a lot of ground to make up. But if U.S. Army Police doesn't get there in time, then this will be a police interceptor's round to lose. Win. If U.S. Army Police does not get there in time, this could be police interceptor's round to win, ladies and gentlemen, which would put him ahead of Mississippi.
But they're reaching the beach turn soon, which the runner tends to spin out on, which might cause interceptor to miss and basically give USA Army Police the point.
That is true. Many things could happen at the beach turn. Police interceptor could get the runner on his own, or he could potentially miss the runner, or spin the runner and open up U.S. Army Police to get himself a head-on collision and grab his first points of the tournament.
But at the same time, the fleet car is pretty far away, so I don't know if the runner's actually going to spin out or not.
The car is indeed far away, but he could be catching up, especially because the town is one big straight, and the Grand Marshal does have the speed over the Barstow.
Can't believe 4 cars, half the tournament wiped out in one corner.
4 different cars here, yes, on the beach there, and the runner moves ahead around JTF just fine. Well, police interceptor screwed up. Police interceptor rams right into JTF, dealing more damage to his car and putting more distance between himself and the runner. With U.S. Army Police now moving down the town with a lot more distance to cover for himself. Will he get the beach turn? He actually screws up the beach turn a little bit. Very unfortunate for him. So that is 5 cars screwed up at the beach turn. Mississippi is underwater somewhere. So police interceptor, unless we choose to respawn people, is the only car left. Yes. Black Ridge will be returned. Transit Police will be returned. JTF can come back as well. Detroit can come back in addition. U.S. Army Police is okay, but here comes DEP. So the round has now essentially is now back on, ladies and gentlemen, with Police Interceptor still holding that first place, but much of his competition has now been afforded a respawn, which means he will have to fight that much harder in order to seize the point that he is working so hard to get.
The first round being so short, it's surprising how long the second round is.
Indeed. Usually we have a winner by now, but not in this case. Yeah, Police Interceptor has a lot of work ahead of him if he's going to grab his 11th point, especially because of all the damage his car sustained. But yes, some of the other cars could now potentially be moving ahead to try and steal that point from him. And if Police Interceptor screws this up as well, then he, being the fleet car, will cause the runner to slow down and allow some of these other 5-6 cars to potentially grab the point for himself. Who is in second, as a matter of fact?
It looks like Black Ridge.
Black Ridge, ladies and gentlemen, is in second, which means if Police Interceptor screws up, that could open up Black Ridge. But it looks like Black Ridge screws up right here on this straight here, and Transit Police will be seizing that second place with JTF moving ahead to third as well. Black Ridge trying to reclaim that position, but not able to. And it looks like now, and here is Detroit and DEP as well. And with Transit and Black Ridge, here's U.S. Army Police as well at the bottom of the incline. Struggling on that turn a little bit due to damage to his car, but that is okay because he is still in this game.
So yeah, I believe this is the 3rd or the 4th lap now.
This could be definitely around the 4th lap. Yes, I agree. The runner now moving along the long straight as well. Police Interceptor hot on his tail, but just behind him is Transit Police, one of our fiercest competitors. I think it's Transit Police. He is one of our fiercest competitors, and he definitely could use those points. JTF, Blackridge, and Detroit are following just behind him, with DEP rounding out that particular lineup. U.S. Army Police even further back, but yes. Here comes the runner to the beach turn once again, and if he spins out, that could open up Police Interceptor to allow Transit Police to get a bit of a head on. The runner does spin out. Police Interceptor misses entirely, and this is Transit Police's time to shine. He could have a repeat of round 17. He could grab himself a head on and keep himself in this game. Where is Transit Police? Here he is. He gets the head on, ladies and gentlemen, right into the runner. JTF moves in with a second collision in his rear fender, and Blackridge moving ahead just for good measure, pressing the runner once more. Detroit drifts in and gets rammed into by DEP. And here is everyone now coming in to work together as a team to make sure the runner isn't going anywhere except to prison.
Yeah, it looks like Transit Police was on the chopping block, but he got a point now, so I don't know.
Indeed, Transit Police was sort of on the chopping block a little bit, but they managed to, at long last, get their 7th point and tie themselves up for 3rd. They're actually in 2nd, technically, with Detroit. We have 2 different ties here in this game, ladies and gentlemen. Mississippi and Police Interceptor, both with 10, are battling to seize that true 1st place position. But in 2nd place now, we have Detroit and Transit, who are both tied up with 7 points, which means this is going to be a pretty amazing set of police chasing, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so looks like I thought Interceptor would get the point, but he overshot it, so it looks like he gave it to Transit Police, and we will now look over the other cars.
Detroit arrived here with the spin and had some very unfortunate luck this game. Wasn't able to seize that 3rd place position they normally like to do, and as a result, they were unfortunately not able to make anything happen in this game. Meanwhile, we also have JTF, who did hit the runner a 2nd time, and I gotta say, I'm not completely sure whether or not a point should be awarded for that, or if Transit Police could be considered the exclusive winner of this particular round.
I believe Transit Police should be an exclusive winner, but I do believe JTF should get some recognition for it.
Yes, JTF does deserve mention. Transit Police with an amazing head-on as well, and even though JTF will not be awarded a point, they will be given some recognition for that, because they did very well. USA Army Police did pretty nice, having not been respawned, battling it out with Police Interceptor and Mississippi, trying to do what they could, but in the end, it unfortunately wasn't enough, because more experienced competitors like Transit Police were able to move ahead and grab themselves the point. Just behind him is Blackridge, not really completely sure what they did this round. They just, the beach turn, it was rough for them, but it's their 1st episode.
They have showed up so far in both rounds in this episode at the end.
That is true. They did manage to. They were there at the final scene of the accident, but they also were unfortunately not able to make much happen during the round. They do deserve recognition for being here, though, and not being busted somewhere like Mississippi. In the center, we have DEP Police, who really struggled that round a little bit. I would say was kind of in the back of the pack, as he usually is, and just unfortunately was really not his rounds today. Was really had a bad time, man. And we have Mississippi, who's just busted underwater somewhere. They really struggled, but unfortunately they just weren't able to do it. Their steering was busted, and I guess they couldn't turn on the cinematic corner. And Transit Police, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of that last round, who now has 7 points and is technically in 2nd place, will be awarded that point, and will now be tying things up and creating a much more intense tournament, I would say, ladies and gentlemen, because we have 4 cars in 1st and 2nd respectively, with 2 different ties.
Yeah, let's see if next round we're able to break the tie, or someone else will get a point.
Potentially, yes. There is still 1 round left in the episode, and it is, in fact, the answer to life, the universe, and everything. And once we go to that round and see who wins, we will be able to see whether we will have ourselves a 1st place or potentially a 3rd place if some of these cars can actually manage to break that tie. Or maybe someone else will start to catch up to the front runners.
Yes, remember, DEP and Army Police have not done much so far, and they kind of need points.
That is true. I fully agree. Today, this is now the time when we start to talk about the shopping block, and I personally believe DEP Police and USA Army Police are at a bit of a risk here.
And now we will reset all of the cars and move on to the final round of this episode.
And here we are at the lineup for round number 42, ladies and gentlemen. Let's jump right into our cars. Mississippi State Police with a rather upsetting round last game, but at least for him, he did not lose his lead to Police Interceptor. He is still holding tied up for first with Police Interceptor, but he really needs to make something happen in order to emerge from that and break this tie. Police Interceptor essentially ditto with a very good performance last round, but unfortunately in the end wasn't able to handle the beats turn that claimed so many cars' chances to win, and it allowed Transit Police to move in and seize the point for himself. Police Interceptor will likely be very upset by that unfortunate mistake for him, but he still is holding with 10 points, and he still only is 1 point away technically from acquiring that first place position. Black Ridge Police, our newcomer, ladies and gentlemen, who has had, I suppose, a respectable kind of sort of time this game. Nothing super notable, but at least he did manage to show up at the final scene of the accident twice. So that is good for him. It proves that he is not absolutely nothing, and it proves that he does definitely have a potential. And after all, there is still one round that he could come out of nowhere to score. Just behind him is U.S. Army Police, who got here, I think, let me just check which episode they actually arrived in. They arrived in episode number 12, which was 2 episodes ago, replacing old NYPD, and unfortunately hasn't been able to grab a point for themselves ever since. In the first episode, they were actually in. They did a whole lot of crashing. And in this episode, they did a whole lot of, well, I mean, they did kind of, they definitely had a weird time, I would say. In the first round, they just bullied Police Interceptor. They were just locked into bullying Police Interceptor. And in the previous round, they really fought hard. They held that third place position, but unfortunately, it just wasn't really going to be enough because of that. Again, that beach turn. What do you think about U.S. Army Police, my friend Davion?
Yeah, he was. I picked him to join, but like he hasn't performed so well with his equipment. But we still have one round to see what happens here.
That is true indeed. He is at a little bit of a risk for this next elimination. However, at the same time, that bull bar and that lovely color scheme of his could definitely help him to emerge from that shadow and grab himself a point. In our 5th place position, who is holding with 7 points, tied with Detroit for 2nd place, we have the New York City Transit Police Car, proving once again that his efforts are not in vain and that he is indeed a very formidable competitor as a result of his experience with the 15-round tournament. Yeah, Transit Police hasn't won a round for like a while now, until now, but he has now managed to finally put himself back on the short-term board. All those points have managed to work out for him, and he is definitely safe from elimination. Over in our 6th place position, we have JTF, who got a very nice smash against the runner, I would say, that last round. Unfortunately, was not able to equate to a point for him. However, he will not be at risk for elimination because he is a very fierce competitor who has managed to grab 2 points in this tournament already. And potentially he could grab a 3rd here in this final round. In our 7th place position, both in terms of the lineup and in terms of points, in a way, kind of, sort of, we have Detroit Police with 7 points to his name, who is tied with Police Interceptor for that 2nd place position, looking to potentially grab himself an extra points. Potentially, he could use that 3rd place strategy as well in this game in this round to his advantage, and it would allow him to seize 2nd place for himself and break the tie with Transit Police.
Yeah, Detroit. I don't know. We have 2 ties in a row here. Maybe Detroit will make it down to 1 tie by getting 8 points.
In a way, and the plot thickens, we actually have 3 ties. We have 2 10s tied for first, we have 2 7s tied for second, and we have 2 zeros tied for last. That's 3 different ties, and you know that Detroit loves the number 3, so it could mean something, ladies and gentlemen. This could be Detroit's round to start getting ahead and start getting close to that 1st place position.
Yes, and we will point back to number 3 that's featured on his car.
3 on his car. The plot thickens. Tinfoil hats. And in our final position, the second car that's at risk for elimination, I would say just a little bit, is DEP Police. I mean, he does have a point to himself, despite being in last, which is pretty respectable. A lot better than Blasco did. But at the same time, he tends to spend a lot of time struggling to get the point, which is still respectable. He's still trying. But at the same time, we also tend to find him in the trees a lot, so I'm beginning to believe that potentially his passion lies with being one with the trees rather than one with the Grand Marshal champion. What do you think about that, my friend Devion?
Yeah, I mean, like, he has 1 point better than Velasco, but then again, he still needs to perform. And you already know JTF did all that from the back, so it's not like biased in any way.
That is true. It is absolutely not biased because JTF has proven that you can be in the back and win quite a bit of rounds. Yeah. And with those two cars on the chopping block, it is time for the final round of this episode. Round number 42 is about to begin. As all of the cars begin to activate their sirens and turn on their lights, I get it. We will see the final round of this episode. A lot of cars here need to make it or break it with U.S. Army Police and DEP Police now on the chopping block.
So yeah, let's see if any of these guys make aggressive moves to gain some positions, maybe.
Potentially, yes, and the way the rules work as well is that U.S. Army Police and DEP Police need to perform. If they both lose this round, then they will not actually both be eliminated. It would probably depend in that case on who does worse. Transit Police managing to grab a point. Transit Police managing to grab position from U.S. Army Police, but here comes Detroit moving ahead of JTF as well, and DEP trying to do the same thing. In addition, so it looks like a couple of salt. Maybe not. Actually, JTF will be able to keep that 7th place position for himself.
Well, speaking of performance, on one hand, U.S. Army Police does not have any points, and he has lost positions. But on the other hand, DEP basically flew off the cliff with no help whatsoever by himself.
That is true. That is a thing he did this episode. Both of those cars are at extreme risk for elimination, and it could depend on who does worse.
Yeah, it's going to be all down to what happens in round 42.
Indeed, yes. As usual. Oh, Black Ridge moves off the mountain. Unfortunate for him. Transit Police spins out a little bit, but if he can recover from it, he will seize that optimal 3rd place position. However, Detroit, the king of 3rd, is trying to move ahead to recover from it. Moves around USA Police. JTF narrowly bumps into USA, and Black Ridge is trying desperately to recover with DEP moving ahead to round out our lineup. And yes, it looks like Transit and Detroit goes second. It looks like the lineup will actually almost be representing our point standings. Mississippi and Police Interceptor tied for first, are in the first 2 positions, with Transit and Detroit tied for second in the second 2 positions.
You know, I'm surprised Black Ridge recovered from that all by himself.
Indeed, yes, Black Ridge did have himself a nice time. Looks like U.S. Army Police screws up here at the 4th turn. Not very good for him, but looks like DEP will be spinning a little bit. These two, pretty much like bottom of the pack, are just struggling to stay alive at this point. As Black Ridge moves ahead in front of them as well. And the runner is now in the town, ladies and gentlemen, which means that we will see the first potential set of round eliminations as some of these cars potentially screw up the beach turn. Police Interceptor holding it just fine on that double yellow. Mississippi doing the same. Here comes Transit in 3rd place, the optimal position. As long as he doesn't screw up the beach turn, he should be set to get himself some good points. He looks like he will screw it up once again. He does that a lot, and look who it is, Detroit in 3rd once again as a result of Transit Police's unfortunate flying off the beach. And here's JTF as well doing the same thing, but Transit Police is at least still in the game, even though he has a position to make up for. DEP screwing up the beach turn as well. Will be thrown black on the track. Black Ridge once again also doing it, and this beach turn at this point is just really like almost the #1 cause of these cars screwing things up. It looks like U.S. Army Police will actually manage to safely and securely do the beach turn relatively, but yeah. Oh, Police Interceptor spinning out in the cinematic corner once again, and here comes Detroit in 3rd. Guess what? Here comes Detroit in 3rd, once again trying to make something happen and employ his usual strategy.
Yeah, Detroit being in 3rd is predictable. Oh, it looks like we might get an overtake here.
We got quite a bit of cars here. U.S. Army Police almost trying to pit maneuver JTF, but will lose a position potentially, maybe not, to Black Ridge, who, by the way, has a strange black bar around his car. How I get it? Black Ridge? I don't know, it's weird. And yes, where's Transit Police? Transit Police now in the cinematic corner, still in 4th place, still trying to catch up to Detroit. It looks like Police Interceptor is pretty distance away from the runner, I would say, yeah. Mississippi, this could be his time to strike. However, if he's not able to go in and seize the kill, then he will just spin him out and allow police to Detroit with a nice sort of a overdrift a little bit. Unfortunate for him, but he has a lot of ground between him and Transit, so he is safe enough to make those mistakes.
Yeah, Mississippi might be able to get the point on the long straight again, like he did in round 40.
Potentially, yes. Although I do see some smoke in the background around the cinematic corner. I just spotting that. I don't know who's in these positions. I'm not sure what's happening over in the shipping container potentially. Here comes U.S. Army Police. Someone's here at Black Ridge, and it looks like is that Transit Police. What happened to Transit Police? Don't even know what happened to Transit Police. I'm also kind of surprised I spotted that from so far away too.
It looks like he got stuck on the guardrail.
Maybe Transit Police is just giving himself a break because he did have a lot of anxiety flowing through him as a result of the fact that he was on the chopping block. And now that he has that point that he needs to stay in this game, I guess he could just potentially be considering it a round to be casual, you know? I would say that's a reasonable course of action.
Oh, is that an overtake?
Police interceptor misses. Police interceptor pit maneuvering Mississippi, but Mississippi will recover from it, and police interceptor will not seize that opportunity with Detroit moving ahead on the cinematic corner, the beach turn as well in that third place. Once again,
who's
Detroit's
in fourth
third place, as they always are. And DEP is in fourth, but they looks like they spin around. They may hit some trees. DEP hitting some trees, and is his car gone? It looks like his car could be gone. As a matter of fact, Black Ridge U.S. Army Police moving out as well.
So the two cars that are planned for elimination, one of them is currently not driving. So this is Army Police's time to shine.
That's true. This could be Army Police's time to shine. Yes, DEP has had themselves a pretty bad round. Police Interceptor spins out of the cinematic corner, and Detroit will be trying to move around Police Interceptor in that third place position that he always occupies. Oh, there's Transit. Oh, Transit's not up either, and that's unfortunate for him.
Yes, but he is no longer risking elimination.
That's true. He is not a risk. Still, though, it kind of sucks. Don't know why. Don't know how that happened to him.
I'm surprised how far back Mississippi is, considering the Interceptor is pretty far back, too.
Mississippi and Police Interceptor are pretty far back, and so is Detroit. And who is in fourth place, ladies and gentlemen? How are things going at the beach turn as well? Looks like Black Ridge is actually in fourth, struggling on that beach turn, though. JTF is a little bit busted, and where is U.S. Army Police?
Oh, looks like he got wrecked, too.
Absolutely smashed themselves. Ridiculous. DEP and U.S. Army Police are both absolutely smashed over on the long turn right there. That's pretty insane.
I believe these guys should... that was not the best place to respawn them.
Okay, they're fine.
I will reset them on the spot.
USA Army has been reset on the spot. DP has been reset on the spot. I think I spotted that someone was flipped upside down. Was that Detroit?
I believe that might have been Detroit. Yes, that is Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit is flipped upside down somewhere. This is actually at the mountain, so unfortunate for them. Looks like they lost at third place. Oh, but here comes US Army Police with the head on. They get the head on. As a result of that, absolutely insane. Police Interceptor with a second smash as well. And the runner looks like he is completely stopped. U.S. Army Police and DEP with some lucky resets on the spot will allow USA Army Police, despite being absolutely smashed, to stay in this game as DEP bumps right into Mississippi.
So yeah, it might have been some really lucky timing because the USA Army Police gets his first point here.
Yes, USA Army Police will now be awarded 1 point, and as a result, will officially be safe from elimination due to a very lucky on-the-spot reset that put him essentially right in front of the runner in order to strike him right in the bumper.
Yeah, so I think we figured out who to eliminate. But yeah, let's look over all the cars first.
Yes, let's look through all the cars. Mississippi had a rather unfortunate second round. However, that first round definitely went pretty well for them as they were able to tie it up with Police Interceptor just behind them. And these two cars are still stuck in that first place position, tied up together, both with 10 points. Black Ridge is actually still up, so congratulations for them for still being up and managing to arrive at the scene of the accident all 3 rounds. Good for him. Transit Police did manage to grab himself a point this episode, so he will be safe from elimination. However, a rather unfortunate third round for him. Don't even know how his car managed to, I don't even know how his car managed to get so screwed and in such an uncommon place for cars to get screwed over. Looks like JTF got busted on the beach turn. Very respectable, very fierce competitor, but unfortunately it just wasn't his day-to-day and was not able to grab any points. I mean, it was still respectable that he managed to smash the runner in Transit Police's round as well, though. Detroit trying that third place strategy once again, trying to break the tie with Transit Police, but unfortunately just didn't work out for them. And I suspect they succumbed to that strange, like, the car will just drive up the mountain for no reason glitch. Yeah, it's pretty obvious that's what they did, so unfortunate for them. And DEP Police had himself the really unfortunate time in this game. A couple of respectable moments ever since he got here in this tournament, but unfortunately, this will be the end of his time in the tournament. DEP Police will now be eliminated as they were on the chopping block, and US Army Police was able to seize a point for themselves.
So yeah, USA Army Police gets the point. DEP gets eliminated. That seems to be about it for today's episode.
Yes, thank you for watching. My name is UsernameHere, joined by my co-commentator Davion, and we will be seeing you in the next episode.